Hello guys, Dello304 here. I have had my iPhone 6s for exactly 1 week, and I am here to give you my first impressions. This is not a full review, this is just going to be a quick little overview of what I think so far, and we're going to talk about a few different areas of the phone. So, here it is, iPhone 6s. Just to refresh, I have the gold 64GB regular 6s model. Here it is. First of all, the first thing I want to touch on is this phone is basically what the iPhone 6 should have been from the beginning. There are a lot of key improvements that really should have been there last year, in my opinion. Not in terms of like the upgraded internal hardware, but more in terms of the hardware quality, as in the build quality and certain things like that, which I'm going to elaborate on right about now. Basically, the phone is built out of a new aluminum alloy. This is 7000 series aluminum, which is basically aerospace grade. So what that means is backed up by the several bend test videos there have been on the internet of this phone. This phone is over twice as strong structurally as the iPhone 6. They've also thickened the casing a tiny little bit, especially around the volume buttons and the perimeter. So that should, in theory, prevent any bend gate this year, which I am really happy about. They've also strengthened the cover glass. I'm not sure how true that is. It feels the same to me, but yeah, there's that. I'm very happy about that. What they also did was they took a small adhesive strip and they put it around the entirety of the screen. One of the biggest issues that I had with my iPhone 6 last year was the screen was clicking and popping, and it felt loose, and it didn't feel like an $800 phone to me. And I found that would get worse over time. Over about a week or two, that problem would tend to reappear itself on new phones that I got. And so I do attribute that to minor bending. Well, in combination with that adhesive strip around the phone and the stronger aluminum and stronger glass, that should not be an issue anymore. Furthermore, this phone is actually, because of that adhesive ring, this phone is also slightly more water resistant than it is last year. If you've never seen those videos, go check them out. But basically, this phone is able to survive water better than its predecessors. It has a little, like Apple put a waterproof gel around all the connectors on the inside. So in theory, water should not really completely damage this phone, which is good. Still don't stick it in water, but that is nice to see. The other thing I want to talk about, the next best thing, is 3D Touch. That is basically the hallmark feature of this phone. Let me turn my brightness down a little. It's basically the hallmark feature of this phone. It's the biggest hardware feature we have here. So basically how it works is it's a variable pressure sensitive display, and the iOS itself has three pressure sensitive levels, let's call it. So I can just and tap the camera, open it just like always, or I can, well, I'm going to show you this. I can force touch on the camera. The phone will vibrate. It also has the new Taptic Engine vibrator from the Apple Watch, which feels really nice in the hand. It's a lot smoother and a lot nicer feeling vibration. Anyway, going on, we have these submenus. We can take a selfie, record a video, etc. And that way you can just go into that, and it'll flip right to the front camera, and you can see there's me. So that's kind of handy. Another thing, let me check my email and see if I can actually do that. Alright, let me find a message that will be suitable for the video. Alright, let's do this one. So basically what you can do is you can force touch on an email to preview the email without going in. You can let go and it'll go away, or you can force touch, or you can you can press even harder, I should say. You press and it'll pop the email in. Kind of neat. I actually really haven't been finding myself using this feature a ton, but that's mainly because most apps don't really support this yet. I have a feeling that as time goes on and as more developers take advantage of this force touch thing, it gets better. I mean, Instagram supports it, as you can see. Facebook doesn't, and if it doesn't support it, it'll just blur the screen and vibrate 3 times rapidly to let you know that it doesn't support it. But there's a lot of things that you can do with this. You can force touch on basically everything now, and you can call people, and it's kind of handy, but it's not like an amazing feature that I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's kind of just, oh, that's nice that it's there. The general performance of the phone is flipping amazeballs. It now has the Apple A9 SoC, which basically doubles the effective performance compared to the A8, which is proven by benchmarks. This thing is a freaking beast of a phone. It also comes equipped with 2 gigabytes of RAM, which does really help nowadays. I can go back to apps that I closed days ago, and they will still be cached. A big problem I had with other phones I've used in the past year is when I'm playing Pandora and I stop my car and and I stop playing the music and I go somewhere and I come back, it resets my Pandora. Like, it closes out of Pandora. And what if I was on a song that I liked and I wanted to continue playing? Well, with this phone, that never happens. You can totally do something like that. I love the 2 gigs of RAM. This thing is the snappiest iPhone I've ever used. I mean, there's pretty much zero lag throughout the whole system. It's amazingly quick in every regard, and I think that's a lot to do with, well, both the new processor, but also the 2 gigabytes of RAM. It really helps this phone out. So that is really cool. The next test I want to do, the next thing I want to talk about is the Touch ID, which, well, this is my mom's iPhone 6. The Touch ID, yeah, it looks the same. This is Touch ID 2.0. This is the revised Touch ID version. And so I am going to do a little comparison of the difference in speed between both of these phones. So I have both my thumbs here. I'm just going to do this real quick. Oops, I did Siri. Okay, I'll do that again. So let's try that again. And 3, 2, 1. You see how much faster that was? Here, I'll do it again. I'll do it one more time. See how much faster that was? I'll do it one more time just to really drive the point home. The 6S is over twice as fast in the Touch ID department, which is really, really nice. I thought Touch ID was fast from the beginning. I had an iPhone 5S back in the day, which was the first iPhone with Touch ID, and I thought Touch ID was super wicked fast on that phone. Well, think no more. You can't even push the home button for even a tiny amount of time without unlocking this phone anymore. You have to get used to pushing the lock button if you just wanted to check the time or something, which is really cool. Touch ID is very much improved here, and I'm very happy about that. Next thing I want to talk about is the cameras, which is actually my last point. The cameras on this thing are pretty amazing. I don't really have any photos to show you currently. That will come in my final review probably. But we now have a 12 megapixel camera sensor on the back instead of 8. It now does 4K video. And it is a ballin' camera. It's really, really awesome. And we also have a 5 megapixel front-facing camera, a huge upgrade from the 1.2 megapixel sensor that we had before. Basically, the cameras on this thing are really, really good. I would say one of, if not the best. The cameras on this thing are really freaking good. Like I said, all that stuff will come in my final review. This has been my first impressions. It's already 8.5 minutes long, which is longer than I wanted to make it. But there you are. There is the iPhone 6s first impressions from me. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.